Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening. Today, a few of us in college have gathered round Peter Maxwell Davies' Yellow Cake Revue. The composer describes this funny little piece as a sequence of cabaret-style numbers. So you're going to hear a little bit of singing, a little bit of spoken theatre, and a few solo piano interludes to weave together these little scenes. The title of the piece, Yellow Cake Revue, is the first of a series of really quite dark jokes that Peter Maxwell Davies plays on us. We expect something quite jolly and amusing with a title like that, but yellow cake in this instance refers to refined uranium ore, believe it or not. The composer wrote the words as well as the music in 1980 to protest proposed uranium mining on the island of Orkney, where he lived at the time. So you're going to hear a lot of place names from that part of the world. Places like Stromness, the second largest town in Orkney, which would have been 2 miles away from the proposed mine, and therefore front row seats to all of the human, social, and environmental risks. Yesnaby, we are told, is a nearby cliff-top beauty spot under whose soil the uranium is known to lie. Warbeth Beach was a popular summertime destination for locals. And references to the Dunray dragon, this very colourful metaphor, allude to the installation now run by the UK Atomic Energy Authority at Dunray on the north coast of Scotland, just opposite Orkney. The piece is quite darkly satirical, viciously sarcastic in some spots, and traffics in a very uncomfortable form of humour. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, but it undoubtedly is funny. So tonight's performance takes the form of a COVID-secure relay race. I'm speaking to you now from the solitude of the Fitzwilliam Auditorium, and I will shortly be joined by a cast of really quite diverse and wonderful and interesting talent, but which will be joining me one by one and from a distance. Strange times, strange piece, but we hope you enjoy.
Uranium oxide and the little stream for our ablutions burns your skin with acidic solutions, while the rocks that we swam from are pulverized by the megaton. We can't fly our kite still. They tangle in the rotten ball mill, where the chimneys and the fume stacks rub sulfuric acid on the train tracks, which will scorch the grass and leaves for miles around and kill off all the crabs and fish and why sound. Now you can't hear yourself speak or think in the squalor, waste and dust and smoke and noise and stink. and the uranium craters come. Just a mile or so from Stromness, and the uranium craters come.
You've heard of the man with the pacemaker, containing 1/4 gram of plutonium, which the terrorists cut out to make a bomb. Well, here's another act of sabotage on a patient, perpetrated by the mining corporation on behalf of your elected government. Two church steeples skewered his eyes, pinning his head in Stromness. The right wrist trapped by the brig of Wraith, the left by the bishop at Reckness. One leg stuck under Yesnaby stack, the other at the ring of Rodler. The patient's prepared for surgery to be performed on his uranium corridor. No anesthetics are in use here. We doctors don't stand to gain. The patient must feel each probe and cut, and his blood alone can stain. His lungs we will eviscerate to transmute into nuclear fuels. But by how he cuts the living ribcage out with a life-destroying tool. The flesh and bones are crushed to dust. Listen to the mighty churn of my machinery all night long. Harnessed by a Orkney curd. The resultant mush will be dissolved in H2SO4 to ensure that all Stromnessians breathe poison for
So, you want a job as a security guard on the perimeter of the mine. Well, you know how tough this is before you sign on the dotted line. Oh, but you've worked before in Ulster, so you know how to keep mum about the ploys of crowd control. Detention, gas, the gun. You never know what you may face. Well, these days in demonstration, not to mention threats of sabotage, terrorist explosions. We see you lent your passport to a certain political faction. No, this is not a minus. But we must take earnest action. Not to give false impression, you know what I mean. We must maintain our image and be seen to play it clean. Good. Well, if you're prepared to submit to a further course in the latest weapons training, you could join our special force.
You realise, young man, that the job for which you apply involves responsibility, and the security risk is high. You will be driving around armoured trucks containing yellow cakes, so it's of prime importance we know the attitudes you take. For instance, can we be sure you had nothing at all to do with the protests against uranium perpetrated by a few backward-looking elements in Orkney before we came and took over? Good. We'll check our files on your family all the same. This firm must have spent millions, including taxpayers' money, on cheery, glossy pamphlets to allay the fears of many who distrusted nuclear power, now welcomed with encomiums. By the way, we trust you've had no truck with any goddamn unions. But what's this I see here about your brother, a young liberal? I'd call this transcript of a phone call hardly peripheral to our discussions of your attitudes, where you express support for his ideas on civil rights. Now, I'd have thought that this is very serious and could well be subversive. Moreover, our detectives have found somewhat excessive your attendance at the Kirk, finding in so young a man. It gives rise to speculation we must clear up if we can, when you've taken personality and aptitude tests, upon which, in your case, our evaluation rests. Understand that in this work, your every word and deed will be monitored and processed. This security we need, it is a sacrifice society must make in the service of the atom. Man's whole future is at stake.
Good morning. A degree in applied psychiatry, I see. You realise your main work will be the mental care of workers, ensuring fitness for the job. No lefties, bufters, shirkers. From your previous post, you know full well the steps that you must take when any workers show disquiet or outsiders demonstrate, seconded by security or hospital in town. Intense electrotherapy, drug treatment, till they own they're grateful for the cure or can be certified psychotic. Any dissident behaviour that's not to this firm's profit or questions nuclear energy, you will deem sick and stop it. So long as you have tact and toe the party line within the Official Secrets Act, we're sure you'll do just fine.
The Doonray reactor threw friends on the job who were waiting for their masters to give them the nod. Have prepared a little strategy that no power of God could diffuse once a finger has pushed a little knob to let off the chain reaction and a program to rob. All the safety procedures were assured and not to clot of their tried infallibility built in official fog, and to any little hold of their footsteps dog. A secondary strategy is simmering on the hob. A modest well-aimed missile well hidden in the bog, pointed straight at the core, so the control rod will melt your hearts in this mid-tube vlog. The policies and aims of the terrorist squad.
As earthquakes subsided and tides receded, the survivors crept out of hiding. There weren't very many.